my last preview of his current Premier League campaign, as it will conclude on Sunday at 1600 hours. All the games kick off simultaneously. As it faced the shithole that is Molineux, the shithole that is Wolverhampton, and the shithole as the Midlands, all rolled into one in equal measure. Before we go into that, I want to go back to what happened, which was Tuesday now, after we drew 0-0 with already relegated Fulham at Old Trafford. That means Ole Gunnar Nobed, and nigh on the space of a week, has been schooled by Rodgers, Klopp, and Ole's the first manager since Moisey to get beaten by a Liverpool team. Van Gaal and Mourinho didn't have that on their CV, and also scored by Scott Parker. The first goal was Cavani all over. It was covered in quality, an exotic chip. He seen saw Areola trying to get back into goal, scampering back, but the moment he got into the penalty area, it was in the back of his net. That's now 10 Premier League goals for Cavani. That is a fantastic record that's even exceeded the most staunch Cavani supporter, which I have been, and never ever forget. I remind these top reds of this, when they would rather Josh King than Cavani. I'll never forget that, and you should never forget that either. So bear that in mind for future reference. And then we see the equaliser, Fatty Arbuncle, Porky Pig, the fat controller. He falls asleep, cross goes in, and Brian's there in the penalty area with a simple enough tapping. Porky's not the standard required if we want to go on and win a league title. You've got Teller sitting on the bench. He must be thinking, why the hell am I here? Why did I bother coming to Manchester United just to sit out on the bench? I feel a little bit sorry for him. He comes as a replacement for Porky, and yet he's nowhere to be seen, and he's getting bits and pieces here and there, and that's not good enough for the calibre of quality that Tellez possesses, you know. And that is one of the major flaws in Ole Gunnar Nobed's managerial. He buys players and doesn't know what to do with them. Case an example of Van der Beek. I like to call him Van der Shite, because he has been really shite this season. He come on in the second half and he did nothing. Didn't do anything. Didn't tackle, didn't shoot, didn't turn on a sixpence. He's just redundant. There's nothing there. He's lost everything that he had before he came to the club. He's lost his shadow. He should have stayed at Ajax. Why he moved, I have no idea why. It was a mystery. And he must go thinking now, why did I do that? He thought grass green on the other side, and now if he could turn back the clock, he would say, I should have stayed where I was. Go to Manchester United wasn't the right idea, wasn't the right thing to do, and he'll regret that. Now, I'm sure. The crowd come back into Old Trafford. It's funny, isn't it, that 1 minute you're protesting against the Glazers, you're breaking and entering into the stadium, and the next thing you know, when there's a sign from yonder, 10,000 fans now back inside Old Trafford, and guess what they do? They go back and give the Glazers more of their money, because apparently they're losing 5 million revenue every single match day, hand over fist. They're absolute hypocrites, and I called this a couple of months ago. When Old Trafford is back, they'll all be flocking there because they haven't seen their mates, family members for weeks to go. Oh, go Old Trafford, see the sights. We missed this stadium. So you've basically shat on your own planification. It was a publicity stunt, so I have no, I don't want anything to do with this Glazer apologist, Glazer, out movement, because it's all for show. It's controlled opposition, like against the Tory government, and they don't do anything about it. Now Joe Glazer's come out and said he wants to communicate with the fans. Let's see how far that goes, because I don't see it making any blind bit of difference. He'll still say the things that United fans will gasp at. He may make false promises which he'll never heed. So for me, I don't know why he's doing it, to be honest. But all you Glazer apologists going to Old Trafford, shame on you, because the more you do that, the less chance and likely they're going to leave, and that's all on you. So the team I'm going to pick: De Gea in goal. Had a fairly good game in between the sticks against Fulham. Made a great save. So he starts there. Right back, Swansea B, I suppose, goes there. Centre backs by and Lindelof, because we don't have really much centre backs unless we put Matic there or put McTominay there to plug the gap. But that's the defence I'm going to go for. A left back, Telles. Midfield 2. Fred and McTominay, beg your pardon, got injured against Fulham, so they won't play. So it's got to be Matic and Van der Schijt. You know, he's not a 2 player concept into the back 4. He is a number 10, but needs must on this occasion. So Matic, Van der Beek. Up front, I'm going to put in Greenwood. Will go up front, and alongside him will be Diallo, Dan James, and Juan Mata. That is my team that I'm going to pick for the Wolves game. I watched Wolves a couple of times. I watched them when they beat Brighton. Shorey is a bright spark for them. He come on and he changed the whole complexion of the game. I was shouting the house down when they scored the winner, because I hate Brighton. And the only reason Brighton has stayed up is because there's 3 worse teams than them. And I'm going to pencil them in, spoiler alert, for the relegation trap next season. So there's a little glimpse into that. But Wolves are a good team. Nuno's done a good job. They've been inconsistent. This is their worst position since they come back up to the Premier League. They finished 8th in 2 consecutive seasons, which is a fair dues for them for that. They've lost Jimenez, but he got that sickening injury against Arsenal. Thankfully, I didn't hear the... how can I put this without putting people off? The bump. Let's just put it that way. It was horrific. And thankfully, I didn't hear the noise, because it would have knocked me sick. Yeah, but Wolves is a good team. You know, they've got players that can hurt you on any given day, and there'll be a threat, I'm sure, in front of their crowd as well. They want to make a rapsix situation. Unlike the Burnley players who let their fans down when you didn't beat the Scousers, did you? You let me down. You know, and Burnley have done well without a crowd, truth be told. You know, so, yeah, didn't do well for them, did it? And people go, oh, Everton missed the crowd. Yeah, they do realise, don't they, that Everton were top of the league going into the international break without a crowd. They forget about that, don't they? Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to go for a Man United 1-0 win. So yeah, let's see what happens in the game, if my prediction comes true or not.